Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Run.down. It'll be me, Tyrese, joining you solo tonight. And joining you solo off of a very good Knicks win. The Knicks ended up winning this game against the Memphis Grizzlies, 143-106. Honestly, the Knicks kind of took the lead in the first quarter, and it was hovering around double digits the entire game, and then they really blew the game open in the third. And by the beginning of the fourth, lead was around 30. Pretty much domination all throughout. I felt like everybody played a really strong game. I think you could talk about a bunch of different factors that led to the avalanche of points that came and eventually Knicks win. I think you could really start with Mikal Bridges, who I think was the team's best player tonight, 28 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks and a steal, 12 and 19 from the field. He was just able to get a bunch of his points in transition, a bunch of his points off of missed reads from the Grizzlies, a bunch of turnovers. The Grizzlies had 26 turnovers tonight, and the Knicks had 20 steals, so a lot of deflection, a lot of the ability to get in passing lanes, and the ability to start scoring opportunities in transition with advantages was really prevalent throughout this game. And yeah, I think it was evident in Mikal Bridges' play. He takes advantage of a lot of opportunities to transition, and the Knicks were just able to create good looks for him, and he was able to capitalize off of them. His wingstop cohort, OG Anunoby, 15 points, 6 steals, 1 block, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 of 12 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 3 or 4 from the line. I'm highlighting him because realistically the 6 steals were huge in order. Were huge in the ability to kind of create opportunities for the Knicks. I thought defensively he did really well. I thought he forced Jaren Jackson Jr., who was his primary cover, into a lot of tough shots. And even though Jaren Jackson Jr. made some of them, I thought making them as difficult as he could was really important. I thought he held his own in passing lanes. I thought he gave someone like Desmond Bane a lot of trouble. The Knicks just kind of were able to suffocate the Grizzlies' half-court offense with the wings. And if you see the stats, the Grizzlies are a really good offense, but a lot of their offense hinges on transition offense. Their half-court offense struggles, and I think the Knicks were able to kind of muck up the game in the half-court. And I thought wingstop was a big part of that. And then there's 2 stars. Jalen Brunson, 20 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, 4 of 6 from 3. I thought he was a catalyst in getting Knicks started in the first quarter. I thought they stuck Jalen Wells on him, and Jalen Wells had no answer for staying in front of staying in front of Brunson. I thought it was a really good game for him. He only played 25 minutes, which is really good to see as well. Him getting a lot of rest. And Karl-Anthony Towns, 24 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. All of the Knicks starting lineup had a steal tonight, and aside from Landry Sherman, everybody in the rotation had a steal. So as you can see, like a lot of opportunities created from the Grizzlies and not in the passing lanes, and the Knicks being able to cause a lot of deflections and break up attempts at the Grizzlies trying to move the ball in the half court, which is really good to see. But heading back to Karl-Anthony Towns, 9 of 17 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line. It was good to see him shoot a couple threes and to see him go in because he was struggling with the thumb sprain, and I thought he had a really positive game. I thought he was very much in control. He didn't really need to do too much. He kind of took over for a stretch in the third quarter, finishing at the rim. Honestly, just really strong play from him. And really positive to see him looking good for the perimeter. Josh Hart, pretty pedestrian game, 4 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. He didn't really do too much. I think he was probably mourning the Commanders' loss, but he honestly played like 26 minutes. It wasn't really notable, but good energy, great effort from Josh Hart. I think probably the big story of this game is the bench unit being able to contribute in the way that they did. Deuce McBride, 14 points, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Fantastic dunk as well. 6 of 13 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. I thought Deuce had a really strong game. I thought his ability to finish was really critical as well. Like we saw a couple dunks. We saw him being able to finish in transition and through traffic, which is really good to see. I think Deuce's finishing has been probably the most important part of his game so far. So the fact that he was able to finish through like the length that the Grizzlies present was really encouraging development from him. I think the Knights' best bench player was probably Precious Achiuwa, 6 and 9 from the field, hitting above the break 3, which is really interesting. He usually hits corner threes, but 14 points, 4 steals, 2 blocks. He was just everywhere defensively. Made it tough on Jaren Jackson Jr., made it tough on Zach Edey, made it tough on Santi Aldama, made it tough on Brandon Clark, and all of those guys he was able to kind of hold in check. I thought he played fantastic. I thought he gave the team good energy. I thought his screening was actually pretty underrated. I thought he slipped a couple screens, which was really good to see from him. And he was able to finish around the basket. If Precious Achiuwa is able to like do stuff offensively like this, it really raises the ceiling of the bench unit. And the bench unit has been looking more potent with the rotation changes, where like guys have picked up even earlier. Someone like Mikhail isn't playing 15 minutes straight. He's getting a break for Shamit. Speaking of Shamit, 2 of 4 from 3, 6 points. Both the threes gave him garbage time, but again, I thought he played with a really good energy. I thought he gave decent minutes. He was the only minus in the team. He had a -8, but I thought his minutes were fine. I thought he played really good for the team. And Campaign, 11 points, 4-10 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, 2-2 from the line, an assist, a steal. Yeah, not a lot to take away from it. It was good to see him like hit floaters and finish around the basket because he usually struggles in that area. But I thought he had a really solid game. Honestly, there's just a lot of solid games going around. Knicks looked like a well-oiled machine, especially in the second half. They just kind of got after the Grizzlies, were able to just take advantage of the fact that Grizzlies made a lot of careless turnovers. I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. had 4 turnovers, Desmond Bane had 6, John Morant had 4, Zach Edey had 3. So when your starting lineup is giving you that sort of production in terms of turnovers, it's really easy to take advantage of through the Knicks. And I thought the Knicks were able to really capitalize on those mistakes and look a lot better for it. So, very strong game defensively and offensively. A lot of good to take out of this game. I think you could argue this is probably the best bench effort of the night. I'm sorry, of the season so far. I thought the Knicks kind of just took advantage of the Grizzlies' youth. I thought guys didn't really get over 200 in terms of minutes, which is really good to see. The highest minutes on the team was 33 from Mikhail and OG, and they came back in when the lead started to dwindle to around 15. And then they ballooned the lead back up to 30, which is really good, which is evident in the plus-minus. They both had 40, plus-minus is over 40. So, really strong stretch to kind of put the game away and ice it. Very fun stretch. I think the Garden was rocking. A bunch of guys were like getting dunks off and a lot of energy in the building, which was really positive to see. Into some comments and let's see how everybody's feeling after the win. H. Bouchard, this would have been more impressive if it wasn't able to lose a John Morant. Lose it or not, it was still a pretty impressive win. Grizzlies are third in the West right now. They've been a good team. I'm pretty sure they're top 10 offense, top 10 defense, but again, they do struggle with half court offense, and they don't really have a lot of guys who can get stuff off the dribble. I think you saw that with the Knicks tonight, where like once they were able to get past the ED screen or screen from the other bigs, they were able to really force the Grizzlies to pick up the dribble, and then once the Grizzlies picked up the dribble, they basically had no shot in like trying to reset the play. And it usually led to a turnover, throwing it out of bounds, or a steal. So the game plan from Tibbs to attack that was really strong. I thought the Knicks were able to take advantage in those passing lanes, which is really positive to see. It also helped that John Morant went 5 of 13 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3. He had really good drives, but that was just kind of it. He got stuffed a lot. He also didn't get to the line, which is really interesting to see for the Knicks. I think that speaks to how good a game Mikhail had. He played really good defense on Ja, didn't really give up anything. He was able to go under screen when Zach Edey screened and force Ja to taking tough drives on the basket or really bad and low percentage mid-range shots. So yeah, like, again, cannot talk enough about Mikal Bridges and his two-way effort. Bench coming alive. I don't know if I would say the bench is coming alive, but I do think they've been more potent. I do think the rotations have helped. I do think that someone like Shamet being able to hit threes is huge. Deuce being able to finish is huge. And obviously, if Precious is going to be able to like give you that kind of production offensively, then yeah, I think you could probably say the bench is getting a lot better. I do think it's interesting how the concern going into the season was like the starters and how they would gel, and it kind of took them a minute to find their footing. But once they find their footing, they were able to take off. I think similarly, Tibbs is starting to find his footing with the bench. We're starting to optimize them a bit more and put them in lineups where they're able to be more successful and more conducive to winning. So guys like Deuce and Shamet and Payne are able to like have more of an impact, especially because they're mostly just there for like taking threes. So being able to get them clean looks, quality looks, being able to have them take threes confidently is kind of a way to bench to boost that unit. Also playing them a cat so they have as much spacing as possible. So I don't know if I would say they're coming alive, but I will say that they have been ramping up, which is good to see, and hopefully it does continue. I don't think this is the Knicks' best performance of the season, but probably the bench game so far, yeah. I agree. I do think the Knicks probably got the best bench game of the season. I don't know if it would be their best performance. I do think it's up there, though. It's probably top 5 in the season. I mean, they shot 52, 39, 78. Like, that's a really good slash. I thought it was just domination. 3 starters and 20. And again, 20 steals, 7 blocks, just a very good defensive game from them. John Leary, deadline 10 days away. Do you see them making a move? I guess an Alec Burks type of player. I go back and forth with it. I'm not sure if they're going to make a move, but it wouldn't surprise me if they made a move. If I were to guess today, I'd probably no, which is interesting because if Mitch is healthy after the deadline or probably after the All-Star break, which what the news is seeming like stating. I don't know how you play him with Precious. I don't know how those would rotate together. Does he just get situational minutes, or do they try to find something, or find a rotation pattern so he can maybe come in for like 10 minutes a game? That'll be really interesting to see. But as of now, you count Sims being traded and maybe signing TJ Warren as like a bench move? I don't know. Maybe their most dominant performance by Ish Bashard. Yeah, I think you can argue that as well. BXBoy71, new chat. Thank you for supporting. Dropping 143 points in back-to-back games with points is insane. Yeah, I think as you can see, the Knicks offense is really potent. I think they've had good process the last couple of games. Even in the Brooklyn game, the fact that they able to kind of grind that out was really encouraging to see. But yeah, I think the Knicks have had a really good process the last couple of games. The offense is clearly flowing. There was a stretch where like they weren't hitting threes, but now they seem to be hitting threes again. And when this team hits threes, they just are a different kind of animal. And Cat is a big part of that. Even though he wasn't hitting his threes the last couple of games, the fact that he just gives them spacing and the opportunity to make higher quality shots is important. So it's really good to see that the offense starting to kind of find a groove again. This is probably Mikhail's most complete game. I agree. He kind of just did everything. This is kind of the Mikhail that you traded for when you made that trade in June, where you give up all those picks, where it's like he can give you a bunch of points. He could be the leading scorer of the team, but he could also lock down the opposing team's best guard. And it's been an adjustment for him. He has been going from like guarding wings and bigger wings to like smaller guards now, like running around screens more, being more active as a part of attack defender. So it has been a bit of a role change for him, but he's been kind of easing into it. And basically since midway through December, I think he's been a net positive in terms of shooting, in terms of being able to defend, in terms of his aggression. I think he's starting to find his fit more with the team. And I think the Knicks are benefiting as a result. Great win tonight from Kuro. First 26 turnovers with the Grizzlies and had 20 steals tonight. Came close to breaking the steals record in the game at 22. Yeah. Again, really active hands for everybody on the team. Like I said, everybody in the rotation except for Shea got a steal. Guys are just getting after it. I think the team knew what to expect from the Grizzlies in the half court, and they were able to capitalize as a result. So it's really good to see the Knicks be active in that case in terms of getting in the passing lanes and creating turnovers and opportunities for the Knicks to run and get back in transition. Who are the Grizzlies passing team in this game? Yeah, I don't know. The Grizzlies lack shooters, and I think you saw it when the Grizzlies could not get the ball to guys like Luke Kennard or Desmond Bane, and like Desmond Bane only taking 4 threes, Kennard only being able to get up 1. Jalen Wells took 5, but the Knicks were perfectly fine letting him shoot, which kind of shows you like the Grizzlies lack shooters. The Grizzlies like guys who could like tilt the defense, and when they don't have the opportunities to run, they do struggle to generate good looks. Grizzlies were playing cross-banded tonight. Maybe their passes were complete head scratches. Yeah. I think the Knicks also forced them into tough passes. It was just rough for them to like get good opportunities, and if the Knicks didn't give up a good amount of offensive rebounds, I think the Grizzlies had 18 offensive rebounds to our 17, but a lot of those came in like the first stretch of the game, and it was evident when they really couldn't like generate good looks. Yeah, I think in the first half the Grizzlies had 9 offensive rebounds, and in the second half they had also 9 offensive rebounds, but the quality of looks were just so poor even after getting the offensive rebound that they kind of stifled their scoring. Jordan Bubb from James Edwards. Tibbs, I love our overall activity. OG McHale were all over the place. It's inspiring when you get those effort plays. Yeah, I think the Knicks just played with a really good effort. I think that's been kind of missing the last couple of games. They kind of hit that rough patch where Josh was talking about ego, and it kind of seems like they've been able to figure out those issues, and now they're kind of in a groove, which is really good to see. The Knicks scored 140 points in consecutive games for the second time in franchise history, 1965-1966 season. Yeah, I mean, arguably the best offense in Knicks history, one of the better offenses in NBA history, and the Knicks are thriving as a result. Boston just totally collapsed in 2 late game possessions, both in the world. Luke Garnett and Aman Thompson wins out on the floater. Knicks won back of Boston. The second seed is in play for the Knicks. I believe the Knicks play the Celtics again February 21st. Oh, it's February 8th, so that'll be next week Saturday. Day before Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, Boston is weird to me. They're just not as good as they were last year, and I think that's like an easy way of saying it. But I feel like they've gotten some progression from basically all of their top guys except for Peyton Pritchard, and it would be interesting to see how that translates to the playoffs because someone like Al Horford regressing is crucial because he went from like a elite efficiency, very good defender to a good efficiency, okay defender, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're thin on the margins, the way Boston is, I do think that's important. He didn't play today, but that's something to like notice. And Luke Cornett is just not the kind of big that is going to like stifle the Knicks, in my opinion. Their big rotation is very limited outside of Porzingis and Horford, and Porzingis presents his own issues in terms of staying healthy. So I do think the Knicks are vulnerable. Oh, sorry, not the Knicks, the Celtics. I think they're pretty vulnerable. I think they're old guys like Drew Holiday and again Al Horford are looking older. I think someone like Jaylen Brown has taken a bit of a step back. I think Tatum's still as good as he has been. And obviously Boston didn't have Derek White or Sam Hauser. But I think that does kind of show that Boston isn't the team that they were last year. And they are vulnerable. And I think the Knicks should be trying to move up the standings to take advantage if they can because having home court in a playoff series like that can be crucial. Could really make a lot of difference. Very important to keep the momentum going. It's a real proof it kind of gave over against over 500 West teams trying to gain ground and maintain the team against All-Star break. Yeah, I think the Knicks played the Nuggets on Wednesday, who just lost to Chicago, so that'll be interesting. And just to check really quickly, Jokic did play. So the fact that Jokic played, they had their starting five. Aaron Gordon came off the bench. Denver wasn't really missing anybody, and they still were able to lose to the Chicago Bulls. That's interesting. And it'll be interesting to see how they respond on Wednesday. But yeah, I think they play the Nuggets, they play the Lakers on Saturday, and then they play the Rockets. So you're looking at a very interesting stretch of games. I think you're looking at, again, a real test. But starting off 2-0 so far is a really good sign for them. Brunson said he didn't make Josh do anything for the Eagles beating Commanders. I did put his location out there. That was probably enough. Yeah, Brunson doxing Josh, leaving the Phillies. Oh, sorry, the Eagles Stadium is crazy. Hopefully the bench starts to round out though. Mitch coming back with supercharged on the defensive end and we'll be able to keep the scoring, and if not, at least keep from blowing leads. Yeah, it's just a matter of like how do you integrate him with the rest of the team. And is he going to be able to keep the offense afloat? If they are able to keep the offense afloat with his defense, then you're looking at a very, very scary rotation. So yeah. Tom DeVille on tonight's games of Cleveland Forms versus Muffins. There's a long way to go. We know we can't feel too good about it. We know we have to get ready for Denver. Games keep coming. Enjoy this tonight. The focus never changes. Yeah, I think the Knicks had a really good focus, and hopefully they're able to keep that up. Again, for Nuggets on Wednesday. But that'll be it for me. Thank you guys for all coming out. Really good Knicks win. Really encouraging to see everybody get involved and everybody be able to contribute. And hopefully they're able to keep it going Wednesday at home against the Nuggets. So thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you next time.